Hey, John O'Connor here from the Richmond Times-Dispatch. Now, I wonder if there's any way that your current situation can benefit you in your role for the University of Richmond as a recruiter primarily.
Yeah, there's no question. I say this to Tracy all the time, and this is why I don't say this lightly. Just I feel very indebted to Tracy for supporting me in this journey to come over here, coach, go to the qualifiers, just be involved with this, because I have a lot of colleagues around the country who I don't think they have head coaches, bosses who would be as amenable to their assistant recruiting coordinators doing this, especially during the summer, which is the busiest time for our job. So I bring that up because I always tell Tracy, this is the best possible professional development I could ever experience. Being around guys like Ian Valencia, Blake Galen, Ty Kelly, John Moscott, obviously John DeMarty, he's been amazing, but just these guys who have played at the highest level of baseball in the major leagues, I'm learning from every single day. I'm throwing them batting practice every single day. I'm watching about how they go about their business, every single day. And the biggest thing for me has just been the focus level. I watched these elite athletes go about their business. That has been a very transformative experience for me. I'll bring that mentality back to Richmond just in terms of teaching our players about how important it is to be focused and intentional with every rep, if we're going to be successful. In terms of just strategic, baseball, just watching how guys go about different mechanics of the game, watching how Ian Kinsler takes ground balls, watching how their swings work. I mean, there's a lot of things that I see as a coach that I work with our guys at Richmond that I recognize, and now I can basically apply the things that I see with our players at Richmond to all the things I've seen the greatest players in the world do that I've worked with the Team Israel. So it's insanely beneficial from that standpoint.
Hey, as long as I've got the mic, I wonder if I might follow by asking, from a coaching staff member, obviously Team Israel is an underdog. You were an underdog before, a couple of years ago. I wonder what the mindset is of the staff and players heading into this event.
I mean, I think that's kind of one of the beautiful parts about what our team is about. Just from a historical standpoint, I mean, Israel's been the underdog in a lot of different ways, and Israel has overcome a lot of different things throughout history. And that always seems to be the case with every team we've had in baseball. When we were in the World Baseball Classic in 2017, we were the significant underdogs, and we ended up really shocking the world with our success. And then when we went to the European qualifiers, the European Championships, and then the Olympic qualifiers that John and I were at in September 2019, there was nobody picking us to win it, and go to the Olympics. But a lot of guys stepped up, and we accomplished something that many didn't think was possible. So going to this tournament, we're absolutely the underdog. I mean, we're the lowest ranked team. I think there's a lot of teams here, just based off of conversations we've heard, that maybe don't take us the most seriously. What I think that does is it kind of adds fuel to our fire, puts a chip on our shoulder. I mean, what I will say is this, is that, and it gives me goosebumps talking about it truly, this is the closest knit, most connected team I've ever been a part of. Every time I'm part of Team Israel, I feel like, there's just almost like a higher purpose that we're playing for. Everybody wants to win. We're all on the same page, and everybody's so supportive of each other. This group is so competitive. And so I think, we had a conversation as a team a couple of days ago after practice, talking about that very question. People are not taking us very seriously, but we know what we can accomplish and we're capable of. And I think it's just motivating us all to do what we did in the WBC and did in the European Championships and the Olympic qualifiers, to basically surprise everybody. Because again, regardless of what it may be on paper, I can tell you right now, there's no more competitive, or there's no more team filled with competitors than Team Israel. These guys are amazing. They want to win. And, it's the competitive spirit. It is very contagious. That's another thing I tell Tracy all the time. I mean, this experience as a coach has raised my competitive spirit and mentality to a level it wasn't at before, because I now understand, to be successful, how much you have to want it. And these guys want it more than anything I've ever seen in my life. So I'm confident that regardless of what the results are, it's going to be a very competitive game tonight against South Korea, tomorrow against the United States. And there's going to be a lot of fight with our team as a result of, kind of the the fuel that's been added to the fire with everybody saying that we have no chance, we're the underdogs.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Nate, Bob Black, how are you?
How you doing, Bob? Thank you.
Yep. Hey, I noticed when you got up to switch rooms, the first thing you did is put a mask on.
Yes.
Can you kind of speak to what the lifestyle's been, and John, you as well? What the lifestyle, the culture, what you've been able to see, and how much the pandemic is really a part of what you're doing.
Yeah, I'll just start and then I'll let John take it. So, you know, personally, and again, Dan and Tracy know this firsthand. I mean, the experience we had at Richmond this year was not easy, dealing with all the COVID protocols just to get our season in. We obviously had the slight COVID pause, which was not fun. And I think for me personally, that really impacted me to the point where I take all these protocols personally very seriously. Everybody does. Just knowing what's at stake. I have this with me at all times. I wear this outside and we wear this inside, but I will say this, it's a very unified environment here in the village because walking around, everybody's wearing their mask outside. It's actually very empowering because all the athletes from every country and on our team, you can see how important this is to everybody. We just want the games to happen and nobody's messing around legitimately, except if people are running outside around the village, so they're not going to wear a mask working out. People are walking around, everybody has a mask on. Everybody inside, everybody has a mask on. It's like this unspoken agreement within each other that, hey, as athletes from all over the world and coaches, we want to have these games happen, so we're all going to follow the protocols. So people wearing masks every which way.
I'll let John answer that. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, before coming here, you heard in the news about athletes testing positive. So, I mean, that was a worry I think that all of us had throughout the training camp and getting on an airplane and traveling with so many people for such a long time. I think it was something that we were a little bit more worried about before coming here. But now that we're here, just like Nate said, it's standard protocol and everybody's doing the same thing. I haven't lived I've lived this lifestyle obviously in the off season, but not playing anywhere this year. I haven't had to deal with the same restrictions and same kind of bubble that Tracy and Nate had to deal with all spring. So it definitely was a little bit of a change at first, but I will say now, I mean, we're completely used to it. And I think it really just limits interaction with other athletes. So that's part of the experience that has definitely been taken away a little bit. But one thing that we've all participated a lot in is like the pin trading aspect here, which is so cool, like makes you feel like a kid again in Cooperstown. And that pretty much is what gives you it's the easiest way to kind of interact with other athletes and talk to other people. But I mean, same thing, we're keeping our guard up as much as possible and remaining spaced out. And our team and everybody's been really good about wearing masks. And at this point, yeah, I mean, I think we're really just used to it.
Hey, Nate, one more, if I might, and I asked John this the other day, so I'll ask you. I know the time, coach, and it's South Korea, I guess, today for you guys, tomorrow for us, and then the U.S. But what's that going to be like when you're in the opposite dugout from the United States team?
Well, I've already been told by Tracy you have to go say hi to Mike Sosha, so that's on my mind already. I'm excited to meet him. It's going to be a very, I would say, surreal experience. I mean, again, most people know that all of our players on Israel are dual citizens for the most part. There's a couple who may not be, but a couple who are in college on school visas, so on and so forth. But I mean, basically, we're a team full of dual Israeli-American citizens. And a lot of the guys on our team either currently play with or have played with players on the USA. I mean, Todd Frazier and so on and so forth. So like, it's going to be very special. But I was actually talking to John about this morning at breakfast. I'm obviously very proud to be an American, and I'm also very proud to be with Team Israel. Just growing up Jewish in my Jewish heritage, I think in certain ways it means more to me personally and my family just being affiliated with Israel than the United States. So I just say that because it's going to be kind of one of those unique feelings of like, that's my country on the other side. But then this is almost like my ethnicity and my heritage that I'm currently in my dugout. So it'll be very powerful. And just to be frank, I mean, it's hard for me to put into words because I think it's going to be one of those emotions that it's like, I never really thought I'd ever experienced before. And it'll be very special, I'm sure, just to be able to play the USA. It's been unique talking to a lot of the United States teams because, again, it's like I want the US to do well, but I want Team Israel baseball to do well. So it's interesting.